Coming up next on Marlborough this week, the first bird in the state to test positive for the West Nile virus this year was found right here in Marlborough, and now the virus has been detected in mosquitoes. What the state is doing about it.
At a recent school committee meeting, members were hit with the demand of filling 18 new positions by the fall. How they plan to fund those jobs is coming up right now on Marlborough this week.
Welcome to Marlborough this week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. Residents are feeling a mix of emotions this week as Marlborough becomes home to the first West Nile virus case this year. The City of Marlborough's Health Department received confirmation on Wednesday that a mosquito pool has tested positive for the West Nile virus.
City of Marlborough's Health Department received confirmation today from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health that a mosquito pool located within the city has tested positive for West Nile virus. This is the first mosquito pool identified as testing positive in Marlborough this season. West Nile virus was first identified in a bird found in Marlborough on July 26th. To reduce the risk of virus infection, the city's health department recommends the following protocol. Avoid outdoor activities between dusk and dawn. Wear long-sleeve shirts, pants, and socks when outdoors. Use DEET-containing mosquito repellents while outside. Please note that DEET-containing repellents should not be used on infants. Eliminate pools of standing water where mosquitoes can breed.
As of Friday, the mayor delivered an update concerning spraying locations and times.
The Central Massachusetts Mosquito Control Program will continue with expanded spraying for mosquitoes in the city this evening, Friday, August 3rd, and Sunday evening, August 5th. The spray applications will focus on the following areas: Algren Circle, Batcher Circle, Beaudry Street, Bergeron Road, Berlin Road, Bigelow Street, Boudreaux Avenue, Brazow Circle, Brigham Avenue, Chase Road, Cummings Road, Dalton Road, D'Amico Drive, DeBono Drive, Donahue Drive, Doucette Drive, Duca Drive, Dudley Street, Dufresne Drive, East Dudley Street, Elm Heights, Elm Street, and Elm Terrace, Ethier Circle, Evelina Drive, Felton Street, Ferecchia Drive, Flag Road, Forbes Avenue, Fry Street, Gregoire Drive, Hood Street, Jacobs Road, Jonas Court, Landry Drive, Leonard Drive, Locke Drive, Macquarie Drive, Masharelli Drive, Matheson Drive, Maurice Drive, McDonough Drive, Memory Lane, Milham Street, Muddy Lane, Neshoba Drive, Northborough Road, Otis Street, Padula Drive, Pearl Street, Peltier Street, Reynolds Court, Robin Hill Road, Rogers Avenue, Roosevelt Street, Schofield Drive, Simmons Street, Spring Street, West Hill Road, Whitney Way, Wright Drive, and Wyman Lane. Additional information with regards to the West Nile virus and the precautionary measures residents should take are available on the city's website at www.marlborough-ma.gov. For those who do not have internet access available to them, printed copies of this information will be available at the Marlborough Police Department and the Marlborough Public Library.
And as the mayor said, if you have any questions or concerns regarding this activity, don't hesitate to call the Central Massachusetts Mosquito Control Project. Their number is 508-393-3055.
To continue our coverage of the recent West Nile discovery, state officials announced that the West Nile virus has now been detected in mosquitoes for the third time this year, with Marlborough and Berkeley being the first two. The most recent infected mosquitoes were found in Medford. Symptoms of the virus range from mild flu-like illness to inflammation of the brain to coma and even death. No human cases have been reported this year, but 3 were reported last year.
Well, some say forget the chemical spraying and just bring on the bats. According to the Boston Globe, health officials are now taking on a new partner in crime in their constant battle against mosquitoes. An army of bats have been recruited to devour the dreadful insects based on research that bats can eat up to 3,000 mosquitoes every night. The purpose of using the bats is to fight against diseases such as Eastern equine encephalitis or Triple E. Sparked by an especially aggressive round of spraying last summer, suburban towns are seeking alternative methods of chemical spraying.
A Marlborough man was arrested Monday night directly after a domestic dispute. 57-year-old Gary Denham of 276 Main Street, Apartment 10, was arrested at 8:16 p.m. Police said Denham was charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon.
Well, it appears to be the end of the road for the city's ownership of the old fire station, as city officials sold the historic building to WRT Management. After over $1 million in renovations, 3 attempts to sell the property in nearly a decade had all failed until now. WRT Management purchased the building for $850,000 and will be converting it into a 50-seat restaurant and other retail space, including an office building. No timeline has been set for the grand opening of the building just yet.
At the recent school committee meeting, school officials were smacked with last-minute staffing needs and are now being asked to create funding for 18 new jobs for the fall. All the positions involved are for the district's special education students and are required by state law. The discussion lasted 2 hours where members bantered back and forth, frustrated with the request being presented so late.
I'm disappointed as chair of this committee, on behalf of the committee, to find this out in mid-July when we had having to have a special meeting to deal with this when the district was notified the end of May. I realize it's not you, Mrs. Bentley. Please do not take this. It has nothing to do with you. I'm just expressing a concern on behalf of the committee that as far as I'm concerned, this is unacceptable, that we find something out in July, something that has such a huge impact on the district, and we are finding it out in July.
Despite not knowing the cost of these new positions, approval was mandatory in order to begin to advertise. Officials stated last week that they are still unsure of how much it will cost, but they do aim to dip into state reimbursement money. The school committee's next meeting will take place on the first day of classes.
With high hopes of attracting additional substitute teachers to the Marlborough School District, that rate is about to rise. At the last school committee meeting, members voted overwhelmingly to approve an increase. The district will now pay $80 per day compared to the $60 that they received last year. Officials state that the 30% increase will make the Marlborough area one of the highest paying districts in the region.
The superintendent's proposal to crack down on out-of-town residents trying to break into the district is beginning to take shape as the new rules have been approved by the policy committee. This comes after discovering countless students who were not living in the city that were attending local schools. The policy change would take a stricter approach against parents from out of town who are placing their child in the district.
A city council subcommittee is causing controversy as a proposal moves forward that would apply costly, strict new rules for countless business owners. Highlights of the rules are that signs must be made of wood, signs cannot have changeable copy, and all items of information must be hand-painted, just to name a few. If approved, no property owner will be exempt from the new rules. The new sign ordinance is designed to create signs that will make it easier for customers to find businesses and to improve overall appearance of commercial streets. The ordinance is currently under review.
With less than 4 months to go, the campaign race is heating up, and now one challenger is looking to steal a councilor-at-large position. Sean Navin took nomination papers to run for councilor-at-large. Patrick Hogan kicked off his mayoral campaign about 2 weeks ago, and a third candidate has taken out nomination papers, but the city clerk's office can't decipher the handwriting. So as soon as we know who that is, we'll bring that to you. Candidates have until August 18th to take out nomination papers and must return them by September 1st. City elections will take place on November 5th.
At the recent city council meeting, councilors voted to allow the state legislature to give the city permission to withdraw from the Worcester-based Transit Authority. Despite votes from residents, the move is supported by all councilors and will allow the bus line to join the Transit Authority, which is centered in Framingham. Officials are arranging to withdraw from the Worcester Regional Transit Authority and kick off the process of joining the Metro West Regional Transit Authority. Well, if you haven't seen an Asian clam at your nearby lake, you are about to, as quite an infestation of them have been discovered. Now that warmer temperatures have returned, eggs and sperm of these clams have remained in the reproductive tissue over the winter, and they'll continue to spawn throughout the summer. We caught up with Priscilla Ryder at the Fort Meadow Reservoir to find out more.
We're here again because I just want to remind people, because we're using the lake and everybody's swimming there, that we still have to be careful about what comes into the lake and what goes out of the lake. We still have quite a bit of the Eurasian milfoil. We just had a study done again. We're going to have to treat it again in the near future because it just keeps growing. And then we are seeing a lot of Asian clams, and they're spreading quite a bit throughout Massachusetts. When we reported our lake to the state, there were only 3 lakes that were infested with Asian clams, and now the woman from the state, Michelle Robinson, told me that there are 10 new sightings of the Asian clam. So it's a teeny tiny clam, and it really is pretty innocuous looking, and so I think people are not noticing it on their boats. And when they're really tiny, they just look like a piece of sand. So it's really, really important to keep that off. It's just like a disease. I mean, now we're infected. There's not much we can do here, but we can make sure that we're not taking it to another lake.
If you are a fisherman or a boater, you really need to make sure that the props of your boats and everything that went into the water, you're not carrying anything out with you.
First of all, I check the obvious places. Anything that actually winds up in the water could potentially take weeds out. Most of the weeds are along the weed line, but you also pick them up while you're out in the water. So you can pick them up on the motor itself. I could pick them up anywhere on the front of my lower unit or on my propeller. So that's the motor itself. I can also pick them up here on my boarding ladder. They get up into the rungs and into the little crevices here. And when I pull up out of the lake, I open all my drains and make sure the live well in the front, my live well in the back, which are not as obvious places to have accumulation of weeds or dirt, and I make sure they're drained out. And I do one final check before I pull away. And when I get home, I always rinse my boat down with fresh water, just to clean it and make sure there's nothing else in there, as well as my live wells.
Just as a boater, a kayaker needs to be careful as well.
After a day of paddling, sometimes a lot of the weeds get inside of your boat, so when you're done, you want to bring your kayak onto your lawn or cement so it'll drain into the sewers, and hose it down and inside, the outside, scrub it with soap and water and make sure that there's no weeds inside. And your paddle, of course, you just want to wipe that off as well. And that's really about it. Sometimes like up in the webbing and the handles is a good spot that, you know, sand and weeds can get caught on. And sometimes when you go fishing, you might bring some live bait such as minnows and crawdads or whatever. So if you have a live bait container like this one, you might just want to clean out the inside if it's real dirty like that is. Just wash that out, and sometimes even your tackle might have weeds on it, caught on a hook. You might want to clean all your tackle off as well.
If you'd like more information on how you can help stop the spread of Asian clams, please call the Conservation Office, and their number is 508-460-3768.
Well, it's August and the heat is with us as hot, steamy weather returned this week, and you know what that means, scorching sun rays. Here are some safe sun tips to keep you and your family safe when you're having fun in the sun. Seek shade. Go into the shade between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Apply SPF 15 sunscreen that blocks both UVB and UVA rays. Every child needs to cover up with wide-brimmed hats and shirts. Fun in the sun needs to be limited. Limit your child's time in the sun during hot, sunny days. It looks like those tips will come in handy in the next week as the sizzling temperatures are set to last. Be sure to stay tuned for your local weather, which is coming up in just a minute.
Certainly some good tips there to stay safe in the summertime.
Sunscreen. Put it on. That's all you need to know. Always.
Coming up next, a bill was passed this week that will put children in car seats until the age of 8. We have the details that every parent in Massachusetts needs to know.
Plus, bottles of alcohol are getting a facelift. What you can expect to see when you step into a liquor store in the near future. Stay with us.
Eurasian milfoil is just one of many invasive species that are threatening our nation's fisheries. Do your part to prevent the spread of harmful invasives before it's too late. Before you leave the landing, inspect, clean, and drain your boat, motor, and live wells. Properly dispose of any invasive species you find. That includes dumping, not releasing into the water, your unused bait. Hey, remember these 3 simple steps. Inspect, clean, and drain. Do your part to halt the spread of invasive species.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. In the wake of a recent bridge collapse in Minnesota, Governor Deval Patrick ordered that all bridges that are similar in design to the collapsed bridge receive immediate inspection. Patrick stated that although bridges in Massachusetts have similar design, there is no looming concern locally. The governor has requested that state transportation officials review all bridge inspection reports immediately.
China is promising to work with the United States to improve the safety of their products as more dangerous Chinese products are being yanked off store shelves. Fisher-Price announced on Thursday that dozens of its products made by a Chinese vendor contain massive amounts of lead in their paint. It's going to cost the company $30 million. Popular toys based on Big Bird, Elmo, and Dora are just a few. Nearly 1 million toys are being recalled. Details of the recall had been withheld until now to give stores time to get suspect toys off store shelves and to set up recall hotlines.
The Massachusetts Senate has approved a bill that would require more children to use booster seats. According to the Boston Globe, the current law requires children under the age of 6 or weighing less than 40 pounds to use the required seats. The new bill would require children up to age 8 or 57 inches tall to use the seats, with the aim of protecting children during a car accident. 38 states have embraced similar laws to the bill. The bill now heads to the State House.
Last weekend, voters in Marlborough approved a deal with the Mashpee-Wampanoag tribe to build a casino in the southeastern town. The agreement would bring casino gambling to the state and millions of dollars to the rural community. Marlborough residents voted in favor of the tribe's $1 billion casino in the town of about 20,000. The state still needs to give it the green light before anything is built.
In addition to Marlborough, Marlborough and Palmer are the latest 2 sites in Massachusetts to be eyed for possible casino sites. The Boston Globe reports that officials of the Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut have signed a private deal with the owners of a 150-acre tract near the Massachusetts Turnpike in Palmer. In addition, the CEO of a Las Vegas Sands Corporation has high hopes of building a casino at the area off Interstate 495 in the Marlborough area.
MBTA officials state that advancements are being made within the D branch of the Green Line, but disruptions will continue throughout August. For riders, this means that they will still have to continue to use those shuttle buses. Officials comment that upgrades include 16,000 new ties, signal and power upgrades, cleanup of the line, and station improvements. In addition, easy-to-board low-floor cars will be available. The T advises passengers to allow an extra 10 to 15 minutes per trip.
Good news at the pump as gas prices here in the Bay State dipped 4 cents over the past week, according to AAA of Southern New England. The Automobile Association's statewide survey found an average price of $2.86 per gallon for self-serve regular unleaded. The figure is down from $2.90 last week and down from $2.92 2 weeks ago. A year ago, the average price in Massachusetts stood at $3.04 a gallon.
A $40,000 grant program is currently seeking to persuade taxicab companies to go green by utilizing fuel-efficient hybrid cars. Taxis can receive up to $1,000 in grant money just by switching, but there is one drawback. The hybrid cars are far more expensive than the conventional Crown Victoria cars. Presently, the Boston-owned cab company Dispatch has 15 hybrid cars currently running in Boston. City officials state, however, that how cost-effective these cars will be is yet to be determined.
Well, from beer cans to wine bottles, a new rule is in debate that would require liquor companies to put alcoholic content, serving sizes, and nutritional information on all alcoholic drink packaging. The new labels would include a serving fact panel including calories, carbohydrates, fat, and protein per serving size. It may be some time before companies are forced to conform to the proposed regulations, although the Treasury Department's Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau will gather comments on the proposed rule through October 29th. The Bureau will then review the comments and then will decide whether to make the rule official. That may cause some controversy for some people.
I think it's a good idea, though.
Well, we'll see. See what happens.
Absolutely.
Just ahead, you are cordially invited to get your clean on as one of Marlborough's most beloved parks is getting a makeover.
Plus, stopping to listen to the sounds around you may add years to your life. How it all works in just a moment. just sit and listen to the sounds around you? Many people don't, simply because they don't have the time. But the new wellness clinic nurse at the Senior Center, Nancy Fernandez, is here to tell you that doing just that could dramatically affect your life for the better.
So what I wanted people to get was that the sound can create a balance in your body. It affects different parts of the nervous system. It affects different parts of the brain. It creates different waves in the body, and it can help to support your immune system and to start to tune in and think about, sounds, the different sounds that are in their life, that and how it affects them, how it affects both sides of that nervous system, whether it gets them really stimulated or whether it gets them into that relaxed state. And then how to start thinking about how to bring some of that into their lives, and how to regulate. They can start to regulate their brainwaves through different things that they're using in their environment. There's CDs out there that help to regulate the brainwaves and create more of the stimulating ones versus the ones that help you to go to sleep. And so to start tuning into that and starting to think about how they can bring more of, those other elements into their life and just help to support their own immune system, their own everyday functioning in their lives.
The bottom line is that everyone needs balance in their life, but how do residents bring that idea into their homes?
They would start to look at their environment and where they're living and say they're, maybe they can't move because they're living on a busy street, but maybe they can have, a fan that's going on that is in a kind of a quiet mode that distracts and changes the level that they're constantly hearing all the time. They could have wind chimes. They could bring wind chimes into their home because that creates a softness. They may want to pop in maybe a CD that has to do with nature sounds. They could use, today I demonstrated drums, a drum and a quartz bowl of what that sounds like, and tuning forks. They could get tuning forks so they could use them and just get in some quiet time. They could do meditation, listen to meditation CDs, anything that kind of changes their environment and what they're used to, that stimuli that's constantly going in their environment, to change it and bring in something else. And that will help the body balance.
Now, if you'd like more information about all the events at the Senior Center, please call the Council on Aging at 508-485-6492.
Well, tickets are now available for the second annual Dancing with Celebrities, Marlborough style. The fundraiser will be held on September 28th at 7:30 p.m. at the Best Western Marlborough Hotel, which is being sponsored by the Marlborough Junior Women's Club. This year, proceeds will help raise funds for the Marlborough Hospital Healing Gardens Project and other contributions to the city. If you'd like some more information about the event or to purchase tickets, you can log on to dancingwithcelebs.com.
The Marlborough Litter League would like to formally invite you to a cleanup event of the conservation land known as the Grove.
The Grove is a conservation land. It's about 16 acres that many people use. It's one of the most popular sites that people in Marlborough use for kayaking, for jogging, for walking their dogs. It's a beautiful environment, and but it is an area that has people use it, and there's very few trash cans around, only at the entrance and back towards the open field. So there's a tendency for things to get dropped along the way. A lot of people go fishing here as well, very, very heavily active in the fishing area here. Recycling committee is going to join us, and they're going to have some information and giveaways. The Energy Conservation Group is going to join us. They're working on projects referred to as Green Marlborough, and so they're going to be talking about that. And also they'll have some CFL light bulbs, for example, to give away to folks who participate in the cleanup.
This park in particular, the Grove, is one of our most used parks. As you can see in the parking lot today, it's full, and people come here to fish, to hike, to sit in the field back there. And so, and the problem is that we do get a lot of people who use it who don't pick up after themselves, and it just becomes this really trashy, the trash just accumulates. So the idea is that we're trying to instill in people to, what you take in, you take out, and that this is a place, and the more clean it is, the more likely people are to keep it clean. So that's what we're really happy that the Litter League has chosen this place to clean up, and we do do patrols of all of our parks, and we do get things dumped periodically, but we do try to get people to call us so that we can clean it up, or better yet, have them, if it's just stuff on the side, just like the Litter League, is to take it on yourself to clean it up. So we're happy that they're going to do this, so it's great.
Then from 11 a.m. to noon, hot dogs and burgers at the trail's end will be served. And according to the league, this is a Saturday morning event that should truly be fun for kids, adults, and adults that act like kids. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to call Brian Palmer with the Marlborough Litter League at 508-460-9812.
Sounds like something fun to do.
Really fun.
Yeah.
But right now, we have to go to Gina. She's at the animal shelter in Sudbury, and she has our animal up for adoption this week. Hey, Gina.
Today we're here with Piculin, and he is one of a group of stray dogs from Puerto Rico that came to Buddy Dog recently. He's a very active, friendly boy who is neutered. We just did that for him here, and we guess to be probably about 5 years old. He has a lot of personality. He seems to get along with other dogs. I'm not quite sure about cats. And he really loves people. I think he's going to make a great companion for an active family. He just needs to get a lot of exercise. He loves to give kisses, and he's really just a sweet dog. So if you're interested in Piculin or any of the other Sados that came from Puerto Rico, we have some great dogs here at Buddy Dog. Please call us. The number is 978-443-6990.
Thanks, Gina. Now get ready to dance as Dom V and the Swing Out Band will be hitting the stage on Union Common this Thursday. The concert is part of the 2007 concert series sponsored by Mayor Nancy Stevens and the Marlborough Recreation Department. The concert will take place at 7 o'clock and probably last until 9 o'clock, and admission is free. If you want some more information, you can call 508-624-6925. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran.
And I'm Kristen Doucette. Have a great week.
Bye now. Coming up next on Marlborough This Week, despite mixed emotions concerning last week's West Nile discovery, local leaders urge you to stay informed what they're saying about the additional spraying and how to protect yourself.
Plus, speculation is rising regarding a possible casino being built right here in Marlborough.
And the Climate Action Network is aiming to let you know how you can go green with simple, practical solutions. Their group is now making it easier than ever with the drop of their brand new website.
Right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. Despite recent attention directed to the West Nile virus, local leaders say there's no cause for alarm because mosquito spraying is actually a regular procedure. The City of Marlborough's Health Department received confirmation last week that a mosquito pool tested positive for the West Nile virus. Despite receiving a considerable amount of publicity from the local media concerning the outbreak, local leaders are here to tell you that you should take note, but major concern is not necessary.
What we're trying to do is get the information out to the public. We happen to get the notoriety for being the first community with a detectable West Nile virus in the mosquito pool, but that does not make us unusual. It just happens to be we're the first case. There will be other communities within the Commonwealth that will have the same thing come up throughout the next couple of weeks, couple of months. What we're trying to do is get the information out to the residents. I felt it was very important that we let the residents know that they were in the targeted spraying area and that they needed to take precautions. It was, definitely information versus a scare tactic. We wanted to make sure that we were very forthright with all the residents and the businesses and letting them know. In the Lock Drive area, we made sure that businesses that have second shifts or third shifts where the employees were on at night, that they weren't outside when the spraying trucks came by. But we are on part of the Central Mass Mosquito Control Project. We have been getting sprayed on a regular basis on Wednesday nights. This was just some additional spraying because of the detection of the West Nile virus.
Because Marlborough was identified as the first community to have a positive West Nile virus bird this particular year, we took greater steps to ensure the safety of the public. Central Mass Mosquito Control and their director and I coordinated the spraying several nights to ensure that the mosquitoes would not still be breeding in those areas, down in the Lock Drive area in particular, and identified a radius around that area where we did a greater concentration of spraying. The spray itself, which is called an anvil, is the product name, has an active ingredient called sumithrin. That sumithrin is very benign, in fact, to humans. There's really nothing to worry about from the public perspective. I think what we're going to witness is a safer area and a safer community.
I think everybody should take precautions, and anytime a virus such as this is detected within a community, I think you need to be cautious, but I don't think there's cause for concern.
And as the mayor said, if you have any questions or concerns regarding this activity, don't hesitate to call the Central Massachusetts Mosquito Control Project with all your questions. And that number is 508-393-3055.
To continue our coverage of the recent West Nile discoveries, state officials announced that the West Nile virus has now been detected in additional locations, with Marlborough and Berkeley being the first two. The most recent infected mosquitoes were found in Medford, and now you can add Salem and West Roxbury to that list. Symptoms of the virus range from mild flu-like illness to inflammation of the brain to coma and even death. No human cases have been reported this year, but there were 3 last year. None were fatal.
Speculation is rising regarding a possible casino being built right here in Marlborough, as a CEO in Las Vegas has high hopes of building one right off Interstate 495. Residents are wondering if this proposal will come to fruition, but as we heard from the mayor this week, it's just too soon to say.
I think that everything is in the very preliminary stages right now. I think that Marlborough was mentioned in passing as a site, and I don't think any specific site within Marlborough. I think they have talked about the concept and a location such as Marlborough in terms of the crossroads 495, 290, and the Mass Pike. Obviously, the location would be a great location for those crossroads, but at this point we have gotten no information. We have not been contacted by the state. We have not been contacted by this developer. Everything is in preliminary stages right now. You know, if it's something that we can, in the end, it does come to fruition and we can start talking about it, as long as we have everything in place, you know, I'm open to discussing anything that would bring additional revenue to the city.
To continue our coverage of Massachusetts gambling, a new study which was released on Monday shows that it would be in the best interest of the state to legalize it. The UMass Dartmouth Center for Policy Analysis states that state lawmakers should give a yes answer to a flagship casino at Suffolk Downs in East Boston, one near Springfield, and one more in New Bedford. Structurally, these locations would make more sense than ones currently being considered.
Well, after an extensive investigation, 18 people have been arrested, and 16 of them are Marlborough residents. The arrested individuals have been charged with possession and distribution of cocaine, possession and distribution of marijuana, and conspiracy to violate the Controlled Substances Act. The arrests come just 3 weeks after 5 people were caught for suspected drug-related activity. The investigation continues to possibly identify other suspects and targets.
A pickup truck towing a camper rolled over on I-95 on Monday, which closed all but one lane. According to the Metro West Daily News, the driver was taken to UMass Memorial Medical Center with minor injuries. Police said the vehicle had been removed and all lanes were reopened at approximately 12:54 p.m.
November elections are heating up as more and more residents are taking out nomination papers. According to the Metro West Daily News, residents in Ward 4 are now looking at a possibly challenging race, as incumbent Peter Jouer and Planning Board member Stephen Kerrigan are both looking for your signature. The last day to take out papers is Saturday, August 18th, and nomination papers are due in the city clerk's office on August 21st.
This summer, the City of Marlborough has teamed up with the Recycling Committee and the Marlborough Litter League to give local parks a makeover. Local groups are doing all they can to make it easier for you to recycle and pick up after yourself, but it does begin with you. Users of city fields are encouraged to abide by one simple principle: what goes in must come out. That includes you and your trash. The city's website will have a formal announcement of the initiative as a way to kick off the effort. For more information or to volunteer to help, please contact Chris White of the DPW at 508-624-6910 or Brian Palmer of the Marlborough Litter League at 508-863-0231.
Let's turn up the heat on going green is the message, and now it's easier than ever to do just that, as the Climate Action Network unveiled their brand new website this week.
greenmarlborough.org website is a good place to give you a quick reference point for things that you can do yourself in your home to save energy.
The purpose of the Marlborough website is to help people find information that can help them green up their homes and their businesses. There is general information, but there's also very specific information just for Marlborough.
We are having an upcoming initiative on reusable shopping bags, and we're going to be giving away the reusable canvas shopping bags, which we hope, our goal is to ultimately replace the plastic bags that you get at the grocery store that are very detrimental to the environment. They're sturdier, you can carry more in them, and they have handles, so they're a really good thing, a good way that you can save energy.
The website is www.greenmarlborough.org, and it's the public is invited to look at the website and provide us any information or feedback on the website. It's in draft form right now, so we're looking for feedback from the public.
The summer brings long days, warm nights, and of course, barbecues. To ensure that you and your family are enjoying healthy and safe eating, here are some outdoor eating food safety tips. Keep cold foods cold and hot foods hot. Do not reuse any plate that previously held raw meat, poultry, or seafood. Don't let perishable food sit longer than 2 hours. And foods like chicken, salad, and individual serving dishes can also be placed directly on ice. Stay tuned for your local weather to see just how many opportunities you'll have to enjoy some of that safe eating in the great outdoors.
Good tips there.
Or your backyard.
Yes.
Wherever you're going, but be safe.
That's right. It's supposed to be a good weekend this weekend, so enjoy that barbecue with me. Yes. Well, coming up next, stormy skies ahead as the worst delays in at least 13 years have hit your local airport. What you can expect the next time you travel.
Plus, as state levels drop, now's the time more than ever to start to think about donating blood. What the Red Cross is saying about it. Stay with us.
Eurasian milfoil is just one of many invasive species that are threatening our nation's fisheries. Do your part to prevent the spread of harmful invasives before it's too late. Before you leave the landing, inspect, clean, and drain your boat, motor, and live wells. Properly dispose of any invasive species you find. That includes dumping, not releasing into the water, your unused bait. Hey, remember these 3 simple steps: inspect, clean, and drain. Do your part to halt the spread of invasive species.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. In the news this week, education, transportation, and the fixing of roads are at the top of the list to be fixed as Governor Deval Patrick unveiled his budget plans to pump $12 billion into his fix-it list during the next 5 years. The governor states that too many state assets are falling apart and it will cost the state more money in the long run unless the state spends a lot of money right now.
Well, this week, the president kicks off his yearly vacation, but before leaving, he met with reporters in Washington on Wednesday. The president says he wants Congress to look at how it's spending transportation money. The comment comes after a proposal to raise the federal gas tax by 5% to pay for bridge and highway improvements.
We raise taxes which could affect economic growth. I would strongly urge the Congress to examine how they set priorities, and if bridges are a priority, let's make sure we set that priority first and foremost before we raise taxes.
Currently, only 8% of the highway bill was spent on highway and bridge projects singled out by lawmakers.
The company that produced the glue that was used in the Big Dig project is now the first to blame for the collapse that killed the Jamaica Plain woman last summer. The state is about to launch a legal attack on firms that were tied to the tragedy. According to the Massachusetts Martha Coakley, the company that produced the glue should have known it wasn't going to hold. Legal experts do comment that targeting the smallest company first in a large list is a practical approach.
Continuing now with ailing bridges, Governor Deval Patrick says that he is examining ways to strike taxpayers for billions of dollars with the aim of fixing highways and bridges statewide. There are no immediate red flags, but in the wake of the Minnesota bridge collapse, new inspections and plans to step up bridge repair is mandatory. Patrick's proposed 5-year budget plan spends more than $1 billion a year to improve and expand transportation resources.
An abrupt resignation will allow Governor Deval Patrick quick control of the Massachusetts Turnpike Authority Board. John Moscardelli stepped down this past week. The Boston Globe reports that it's not clear why Moscardelli gave his resignation letter. Moscardelli's replacement will be the third member of the 5-member board, who was appointed by Patrick. The Turnpike Authority oversees the Big Dig and the state's turnpike system.
Well, many people will shop till they drop this weekend as yet another sales tax-free holiday is about to hit the Bay State. Governor Deval Patrick signed the bill last Thursday. It's the 4th year in a row that the state has created the special tax holiday to spur sales at a traditionally slow time of year. The proposed bill is allowing consumers to avoid the state's 5% sales tax on the weekend of August 11th and August 12th. That's this Saturday and Sunday. Consumers can only get a tax break on items up to $2,500 and cannot be applied to items such as cars, boats, meals, and tobacco.
Airline passengers are facing cloudy skies as the worst delays in at least 13 years have hit local airports, and clear skies are not predicted. At Logan International Airport, 1 out of 3 flights arrived late, which exceeds the national average. The Department of Transportation reports that in 2007, nearly a quarter of flights on the 20 largest carriers were delayed. An increase in the demand for air travel weather and the lack of a modern satellite-based air traffic control system appear to be the blame.
As the school bell rings on the first day of school, Massachusetts lawmakers will return to cracking down on certain junk food items being offered within the school systems. Lawmakers will debate on whether to restrict schools from selling certain junk foods or discuss a proposed ban on all advertising aimed at selling unhealthy foods and drinks. The junk food bill would require that all schools offer a healthier array of food choices such as zero trans fat foods and less than 200-calorie options.
Well, when you hear the ice cream truck song, are you the first in line or do you block your ears? The Boston City Council is one step closer to banning the ever-sweet sounds from ice cream trucks across the city. Salvatore LaMattina states that the annoying song is a citywide problem. The East Boston City Councilor plans to sit down with the Boston Police and the Inspectional Services Department to come up with specific regulations concerning an enforced noise ordinance.
Good news at the pump again this week as gas prices here in the Bay State fell, making it the 3rd straight weekly decline. According to AAA of Southern New England, an average price of $2.84 per gallon of self-serve regular unleaded was reported. There is one difference this week, although as Massachusetts prices are a penny above the current national average, and that's at $2.83 per gallon.
Demand is up and donations are down now more than ever at your local blood bank. The Northeast chapter of the American Red Cross is reporting a slowdown of blood donations across the region. The Red Cross is appealing for your help and urges anyone who is eligible to make an appointment and donate. If you'd like to donate, the next Marlborough Community Blood Drive will be held on Wednesday, August 22nd at Masonic Hall from 1 to 7 p.m. And for more information or to make an appointment, please call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE. You know I've donated.
Yes, you have.
And I've been getting many things in the mail, so I know they need donations.
They do. This is the time of year to do it.
Yes.
All right. Well, just ahead, we couldn't make it to Buddy Dog this week, so we're giving one handsome dog another chance to find a loving family.
Plus, an internationally known father of 5 has made a lucrative living with a couple of eating utensils, and he's been here to Marlborough. An exclusive interview with the Spoon Man is coming up. Welcome to this week's Power Minute. This next Power Minute is going to make you love lunch again. It's going to help you get through work, school, all the way to dinner. Take a look. A plain sandwich? Boring. To jazz up your lunch, use lots of color and different kinds of whole wheat breads like pita and tortilla wraps. We begin this week with a whole wheat wrap. If you select 100% whole wheat products, the bran and the germ of the wheat will remain in your meals, and the health benefits will be impressive. Whole wheat wraps are loaded with fiber and manganese. Now on to turkey. Turkey is a very good source of protein. A 4-ounce serving provides 65.1% of the daily value for protein, along with 11.9% of the daily value for saturated fat, about half the amount of saturated fat found in red meat. Turkey is also a very good source of the trace mineral selenium. Now on to tomatoes. Tomatoes are an excellent source of vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin K. They're also a very good source of potassium, manganese, dietary fiber, and vitamin B1. In addition, tomatoes are a good source of vitamin B6, folate, copper, niacin, vitamin B2, magnesium, iron, phosphorus, vitamin E, and protein. Now on to cheese. Cheese is a very good source of protein and calcium. It's also a good source of phosphorus, iodine, and selenium. I chose Monterey Jack, but you can choose any kind of cheese you would like. Now on to avocado. Avocado are a good source of vitamin K, dietary fiber, vitamin B6, vitamin C, folate, and copper. Avocados are also a great source of potassium. They are higher in potassium than a medium-sized banana. Although they are fruits, avocados have a high fat content of between 71 to 88% of their total calories, about 20 times the average of other fruits. But it is loaded with omega-3s, and that is why you should put it in your wraps. Adding sprouts to your sandwich is a cheap way and easy way of increasing your intake of vitamins and minerals. I'm adding a little bit to your wrap to get an extra kick of nutrition. Finally, we end with blueberries. Blueberries are phytonutrient superstars. They're a very good source of vitamin C, manganese, and both soluble and insoluble fiber like pectin. Blueberries are also a very good source of vitamin E. It's not as tough as it sounds. Lunch does not have to be boring. Take charge. Pack a lunch that you'll love while keeping you going all the way till dinner. The world-renowned Spoon Man fascinated both children and adults at a 45-minute performance on July 28th, which was hosted by the Marlborough Public Library. Jim Cruz has been playing spoons professionally for about 20 years, and my question for him was, where did it all begin? Jim lives in Michigan, so the best we could do is an interview over the phone, but I think you'll find it pretty interesting. Take a listen.
When I was 9 years old, I wanted a drum set, and my parents wouldn't buy me one. My grandfathers, both of them, used to play the spoons for me, so the spoons kind of became my imaginary drum set that I never got. Well, my grandpa showed me a few things, and then it was just a matter of sitting down, with the spoons and just practicing and practicing and practicing. I have been spooning, 32 years I've been playing the spoons. Professionally, for 20 years. Somehow, by the grace of God, supporting my wife and my 5 children. I perform all over the country. I perform for libraries and fairs and festivals, corporate events, a lot of schools, so churches too. I do a lot of multiple things. Typically, when I go out to Massachusetts for the libraries, it's usually during the summer months for their summer reading program. Yeah, in the library setting, I leave a message. It's not a much detailed message because of the, how the venue is put together with so many young kids. When I do a school program, I get more detailed, with my messages, whether it's the drug prevention message or I have a message called Catch the Rhythm of Reading. I have a message that's called Respecting Yourself and Others. And typically when I'm in a school setting, it's a more detailed, longer message than how it is with the libraries. Like with anything in life, it's just you got to consistently stick with it, and hopefully.
The Spoon Man is not only a seasoned veteran in his field, but he truly cares about children and their well-being. Now, if you'd like some more information about the Spoon Man, check out his website at getspooned.com.
Well, Charlotte and Dorr will be performing Goldilocks and the Three Dragons this Saturday, August 11th, on Union Common. The fun begins at 11 a.m. on the corner of Bolton and Main Streets, and if it should rain, the location will be moved to the Walker Building. For more details, please call 978-562-1646.
The Marlborough Lions Club is hosting their 4th annual Marlborough Lions Club Porchetta and Family Festival on August 26th from 12:30 to 6 p.m. It will take place at the Elks Club in Hudson and will include a feast of salad, pasta, desserts, and you guessed it, pork. Activities such as pony rides, rock climbing, a magic show, a moonwalk, face painting, wiffle ball, a dunking booth will all be taking place, plus more. Adult tickets are available for $15 and kids pay only $5. You can purchase tickets by calling 508-480-0001.
The Disabled American Veterans will be kicking off their annual campaign for selling forget-me-nots this Monday, August 13th. The presentation of a proclamation from Mayor Nancy Stevens will be given at 11 a.m. All funds contributed during the campaign will be used for disabled veterans of the city of Marlborough. The forget-me-nots will be sold from August 20th to September 3rd. Certainly want to get out there and support them there.
Definitely, definitely. Now we have to go to Gina. She's a very special dog this week, and she's at the animal shelter with that dog. Take a look.
Thanks, Kristen. Today we're here at Buddy Dog with Callaway, and he's a great dog. He's a neutered male, 4 years old, Labrador mix, originally adopted out from us here at Buddy Dog and then returned because he grew a little too protective of the family. So he's a great watchdog, needs maybe a little bit more obedience training with someone who's very comfortable being in a leadership role. He is very sweet and gentle, quiet, knows many commands, but needs a little bit more structure with someone who really understands, why dogs can get protective. If you're interested in Callaway, please call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Thank you, Gina. We want to remind you one more time that the Marlborough Litter League would like to informally invite you to the cleanup event on the conservation land known as the Grove.
One of the most popular sites that people in Marlborough use for kayaking, for jogging, for walking their dogs. It's a beautiful environment. And but it is an area that has, people use it, and there's very few trash cans around, only at the entrance and back towards the open field. So there's a tendency for things to get dropped along the way. Recycling committee is going to join us, and they're going to have some information and giveaways. The Energy Conservation Group is going to join us. They're working on projects referred to as Green Marlborough, and so they're going to be talking about that. And also they'll have some CFL light bulbs, for example, to give away to folks who participate in the cleanup.
This park in particular, the Grove, is one of our most used parks. As you can see in the parking lot today, it's full. And people come here to fish, to hike, to sit in the field back there. And the problem is that we do get a lot of people who use it who don't pick up after themselves, and it just becomes this really trashy, the trash just accumulates. So the idea is that we're trying to instill in people to, what you take in, you take out, and that this is a place, and the more clean it is, the more likely people are to keep it clean. So that's what we're really happy that the Litter League has chosen this place to clean up, and we do, do patrols of all of our parks, and, we do get things dumped periodically, but we do try to get people to call us so that we can clean it up, or better yet, have them, if it's just stuff on the side, just like the Litter League, is to take it on yourself to clean it up. So we're happy that they're going to do this, so it's great.
Volunteers will be picking up litter on the beach, trails, and parking lot from 9 to 11 a.m., and tools, gloves, and bags will be provided. Then from 11 a.m. to noon, hot dogs and burgers at the trail's end will be served, and according to the league, this is a Saturday morning event that should be really fun. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to call Brian Palmer with the Marlborough Litter League at 508-460-9812.
Certainly want to check that out if you can.
Definitely.
All right, well, before we go, I want to see what else is happening around town, so here's a look at your community calendar.
And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany? She said, I think I remember the film, and as I recall, I think we both kind of liked it. And I said, well, that's the one thing we got.
That wraps up this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Coming up next on Marlborough this week, an early morning accident led to backed up traffic and one telephone pole in rough condition. We have the details.
Plus, now we as a community have a place and a way to express our condolences.
One local church right here in Marlborough is honoring the Americans that have given their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan. How one pastor is making a non-political statement to make everyone stop and think.
And it's just about that time when new backpacks are purchased, pencils are sharpened, and new clothes are picked out. What the Marlborough Food Pantry is doing to make sure that every child gets what they need to head back to school.
Right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. A portion of Marlborough's Route 20 in the area of Lincoln Street has been shut down this morning after a serious crash there. Early Friday morning, a vehicle driving eastbound on Lincoln Street had an unfortunate mishap that caused the street to be shut down by police.
The vehicle was traveling eastbound on Lincoln Street here. Guy said his wheels locked up. He hit the telephone pole. That's basically what happened. Yeah, National Grid's going to come out and assess it and then see if we need to take any further action. Looks like it's going to have to be replaced, but they make the call on that, so they'll do that when they come out.
As Patrolman Jared Snapp stated, National Grid did come out shortly after the reported accident and assess the situation. According to Patrolman Snapp, it looks as though the telephone pole might have to be replaced. Onlooking neighbors expressed their concern for the properties, stating the cars need to be controlled in this area. As of this morning, no major injuries were reported.
Sometimes you just don't take the time to stop and take a minute to look at life and really think about what's actually going on in the world today. Right here in Marlborough, there's a place and a way for residents to express their gratitude for the fallen soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Flags began several years ago in Connecticut, I think in the year 2003, when the death toll started mounting up from the wars in Iraq and also Afghanistan. And someone thought that we should have a way of actually honoring the whole group of those people who have volunteered to go over for our sake and give their lives for the good cause. And so then it spread. Other states have started to have it. It started in Massachusetts last October in North Grafton with a wonderful person by the name of Joe Girard, who actually bought the flags. There were 3,000 some odd flags, and he bought them out of his own pocket. And they were planted in the lawn in front of St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in North Grafton, a very small but wonderful congregation of faithful people. And so it started to be noticed, and it's been moving around churches in particular since then. And so we're very fortunate to have it here in Marlborough. Unfortunately, though, it wouldn't fit on the tiny lawn anymore in North Grafton because there are 4,004 flags here that we picked up a week ago from the Oxford United Methodist Church. And last Sunday, we said prayers for 30 more soldiers who were killed in the previous weeks, and then we planted those flags as well. What we really wanted was for people to have a very powerful visual, a whole visual, because we can all hear the 5 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news or the 11 o'clock news, and we hear every day that 1 or 2 or 5 more people have died. And we hear it in sound bites, and it almost gets too easy to tolerate. And we're so busy zooming back and forth with our daily tasks that we don't really stop to focus and understand how long this has been going on and what the cost has been in terms of human life. So what we want most is to create a very powerful visual for people to really see what the whole cost is, regardless of your political stance, regardless of what you think of the war or any political party. This is not a political statement. This is a way of honoring the whole picture of what the sacrifices have been in Afghanistan and Iraq. So we want people to think. We want them to stop, and we want them to stop long enough to take a good look and to think.
Well, when the pastor came to us and said that we had the opportunity to get this tribute to our deceased soldiers, it was the right thing to do. And I saw it for the first time when it was at the Unitarian Church in Westboro, and it was just so moving. I had my mom with us, and there were no words to describe what we felt when we saw it the first time. And I was brought up by a disabled vet, so it even hit home even more. And so when we had the opportunity, it was just let's do it. You know, it's we want to pay tribute and let people know what's, you know, who's out there and who to remember. And each one of these flags represent a person, and we'd like people to know that.
Was designed to be a visible, silent, patriotic reminder, and if you haven't been over to the First Methodist Church, please take a moment out of your day to remember those who have risked their lives for you.
The Disabled American Veterans Forget-Me-Not Week has been officially kicked off in the city of Marlborough, as Mayor Nancy Stephens has proclaimed August 20th through September 3rd as days of recognition for the annual fundraising campaign.
I have a proclamation. It says, whereas the community has a continuing sense of gratitude towards veterans who gave so much to preserve our freedom, and whereas the Disabled American Veterans Organization has worked exclusively for the welfare of veterans, especially the Marlborough Chapter 82 of the DAV, which was established to carry on this work. And whereas the DAV provides services to disabled veterans and their families in filing claims for government benefits and assists in numerous other job-related, healthcare, employment, and related problems of disabled veterans. And whereas the Disabled American Veterans Organization has chosen August 20th, 2007 through September 3rd, 2007 for its annual fundraising campaign in Marlborough, and has announced that all funds contributed during the campaign will be utilized for disabled veterans in the city of Marlborough. Now, therefore, I, Nancy E. Stephens, Mayor, do hereby proclaim August 20th, 2007 through September 3rd, 2007 as the Disabled American Veterans Forget-Me-Not campaign in the city of Marlborough, and urge all patriotic citizens to purchase a Forget-Me-Not as evidence of our gratitude to the men and women who risked their lives in defense of the freedom which we continue to enjoy as American citizens.
I want to mention, this is a new sign that we have right here. These people that are defending the country are heroes. And right in the corner, we have a woman, which is very nice, defending our country, just like we have the mayor leading the city of Marlborough.
Everyone to get out there. When they see members of this organization out there selling the Forget-Me-Nots, please, please go out there and support this wonderful organization that's helping our veterans on a daily basis.
All funds contributed during the campaign will be utilized for the disabled veterans in the city of Marlborough. The DAV is a support organization for veterans which provides a nationwide network of services free of charge to all veterans and members of their families. You can purchase a Forget-Me-Not at St. Mary's Credit Union, CVS, the Marlborough Post Office, and the Walmart in Hudson.
A local Marlborough woman broke into her estranged spouse's home on Saturday, held a knife to her throat, stabbed her in the leg, and destroyed urns containing ashes of the woman's dead husband and mother-in-law. 45-year-old Linda J. Henry of 27 Beach Street was arraigned on Monday morning on charges that when she broke into her spouse's apartment and trapped her in her room. Henry was arrested when police found her walking a half mile down the road. Henry is charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, kidnapping, breaking and entering in the daytime for a felony, disturbing a grave, intimidating a witness, and violating an abuse prevention order.
Following an extensive search, police released on Wednesday that 12 people are now arrested. According to police, with the help of the Hudson Police Department and the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office, people linked to area drug dealing have now been uncovered. Of the 12 arrested, 11 are Marlborough residents. Police say they are still searching for 6 others involved.
As officials prepare to pay out billions over the next 5 years, education officials are currently undergoing reviews to figure out the most needy schools in the state. Over the next several years, renovations and replacements of school buildings across the state are going to take place, and Marlborough schools are definitely on the list. Over the past 18 months, the Building Authority has received about 430 requests for funding school repair. Officials will have to review those requests and should have them organized by the end of the year.
It's back to school time, and you know what that brings. New backpacks, pencils, crayons, crisp paper, and brand new clothes. The Marlborough Food Pantry will spend the rest of this month making sure that everyone has equal opportunity to receive just that before the first bell rings.
This is our 12th year that Marlborough Community Service is doing this backpack program. We service over 375 families. We have 4 main sponsors: Intel, Fidelity, St. Mary's Credit Union, and First Church Congregation. There are also some families who also sponsor some families. Back in June, the families signed up. They gave us the information about the child, the sizes, etc. And now they're coming in to pick up their backpacks. Each child is getting a brand new backpack with all new school supplies. And different this year is they're getting a gift card to go buy their outfit for the first day of school. And they're very excited.
I'm really excited to see what's inside and go shop. I can't wait to go shopping for a new outfit for school.
Donations for this year's drive are basically finished, but any additional donors would have to have fast turnaround and have backpacks to the food pantry office within the next few days or so. Marlborough Community Services are already looking for volunteers and sponsors for next year.
The Shields Health Care Group recently announced a pledge of $30,000 to Marlborough Hospital, which will be paid in full over a 3-year period. The donation will be used to help support Marlborough Hospital's general fund, in addition to making the Shields Healthcare Group a member of the hospital's President's Circle. Marlborough Hospital is served by a medical staff of more than 300 primary care physicians and specialists, which provide a wide range of inpatient and outpatient medical, surgical, and mental health services.
Well, following 2 weeks of renovations, the helipad and parking lot at the UMass Memorial Hospital have now reopened and they're ready for business. In early June, the hospital began construction at the building's rear, where the helipad and parking lot are located. The repairs were completed on July 23rd, and according to Marlborough Hospital spokeswoman Melissa Hodgson, it was long overdue.
The whole back section of the hospital has needed to be replaced for years, and it's been on the plans of doing it, and it was finally time. What the hospital had to do was we had to go in and redo the entire parking lot. There were drainage issues, there was lighting issues, the helipad needed to be redone. So it was a series of things that all had to work together. It led to more safety for the employees that park back here, better drainage, and more safety for the helicopter when it has to land. When you work the shift, the 3 to 11 shift, lighting was an issue. It needed to be better lit back here. The parking area needed to be more safe for them. And this was really about the staff that cares for the hundreds and hundreds of patients that come through each month. When you have employees who are safe and well taken care of, they turn around and take great care of our patients, which is ultimately what we're after.
Coming up next, a major recall announced this week affecting popular toys many of you may have in your home. We have what these toys contain and how it can affect your kids.
Plus, police are warning drivers to be on alert after a series of rocks and other objects have been hitting cars and trucks driving along a popular highway. We're back in a moment.
Hello, I'm Paul Miner, Executive Director of Massachusetts 211. 211 is a non-emergency information hotline that provides callers with the information they need to solve many of life's everyday and sometimes critical problems. Whether it's finding government benefits or services, nonprofit organizations, support groups, crisis response, and official information, Mass 211 can help. This free and confidential service is provided to you by your local United Way. So remember, when you need non-emergency help, call 211.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. In the news this week, there's yet another blow to the reputation of Chinese-made products. Toy-making giant Mattel Incorporated issued recalls on Tuesday for approximately 9 million Chinese-made toys that contain magnets that children can swallow or which could have lead paint. The recall includes 7.3 million playsets, including Polly Pocket dolls and Batman action figures, and 253,000 die-cast cars that contain the poisonous lead paint. More than 80% of toys sold worldwide are made in China.
Police have issued a warning to all motorists who travel on a stretch of Route 9 eastbound in Westboro. Police say that at least 7 cars have been damaged in recent weeks by rocks that are being thrown at vehicles near Connector Road. The incidents have been reported during early hours. 2 motorists have been injured. No arrests have been made.
Every parent in the country is familiar with over-the-counter medicines and even are more familiar reaching for them when their children are sick. Now, a public health advisory has been issued by federal health officials stating that children under the age of 2 should not be given these remedies without a doctor's order because of the serious effects it could have, including death. Many pediatricians note that parents may not be aware of possible adverse effects that cough and cold remedies could have.
To continue our coverage of the recent West Nile discoveries, state officials announced that the West Nile has now been found in additional locations, with Marlborough and Berkeley being the first 2. The most recent infected mosquitoes were found in Medford, and now you can add Salem and Swampscott in Essex County and Weymouth in Norfolk County to the list. Symptoms of the virus range from mild flu-like illness to inflammation of the brain to coma and even death. No human cases have been reported this year, but there were 3 last year. None were fatal.
Well, many people really shopped till they dropped this past weekend as yet another sales tax-free holiday hit the Bay State. Governor Deval Patrick signed the bill early this month. It's the 4th year in a row that the state has created this special tax holiday to spur sales at a traditionally slow time of year. The proposed bill allowed consumers to avoid the state's 5% sales tax. Big ticket items such as iPods were gobbled right up. At a traditionally slow time of year, stores and shopping malls around the Bay State were very busy as ever.
Just ahead, attention all local artists, as a local art center wants your painting on its walls, where you can see or display your local art in just a minute.
Plus, already raising $15,000 for the ARC, Kevin Brown now hopes to raise double, making his estimated donation $30,000. But he can't do it alone. We'll explain in just a moment. Welcome to this week's Power Minute. Eating smaller meals not only boosts your energy, but it boosts your metabolism. The key is to have the essentials on hand. When it's time to eat, you choose the right stuff. It's 3 p.m. and you're craving something sweet and something salty. Before you put your quarters in the closest vending machine, consider some healthy alternatives to potato chips and chocolate bars, 4 of which are about to come your way. What you want to think is a healthy fat, a good carb, and a protein. First, I have a piece of string cheese and a piece of fruit. The cheese will satisfy you while the fruit will boost your body with some good sugars and vitamins. Next, I have nuts, blueberries, and yogurt, which is the perfect example of a healthy fat, a good carb, and a protein that will help you stay full from mid-afternoon right until dinner time. Next, I have peanut butter and apples. The healthy fat and protein will fill you up and not bring you down. The apple will give you a boost of vitamins and a healthy dose of pectin. Lastly, I have an organic powered trail mix. Trail mix is an easy, fast, energizing snack that involves no preparation. Great for the on-the-go individual. In addition to all of these great snack ideas, make sure you're guzzling water. It will help control cravings and keep you hydrated and energized all day long. Eating the right stuff at the right time will prevent you from overeating at meal times, a problem most Americans face every day. When we fill up on junk foods, we're missing out on beneficial nutrients and are adding unwanted calories, preservatives, sugar, and wasteful packaging to our lives. Pack a variety of healthy snacks and take them with you wherever you go and soon you'll be saying bye-bye to those vending machines. Well, it's been less than 6 months since the 2007 Ironman journey, and guess what? Marlborough resident Kevin Brown is back, and he is ready to massively help the Addiction Referral Center once again. Already raising $15,000 for the ARC, Kevin now hopes to raise double, making his estimated donation $30,000 in 2008. Now, in an exclusive interview with the Ironman himself, he admits he can't do it alone and is reaching out to you for your help.
I can only tell you from my heart, as folks tell me, is my first journey going through this process, we raised a lot of money, but more so without the community's help to do this, which was a very emotional experience for me to go through an Ironman journey. And I carried everybody with me as much as I could, and I thought about people who donated and of their time and money and efforts and everything that made it successful. And this second time around doing 2 Ironman journeys, it's going to be even that much more so. And I need everybody's help and support. I need the community to really rally around. And whatever it is, even if you decide that the ARC's not what you want to donate to, if there's something you have a passion for and you're hearing this message, get out there and go for it and try and do something to make a difference in your community. This is what this is all about. My goal is to ask the community's help because I want to raise $30,000 for 2 great organizations. And I will meet those goals because I feel strongly in this community. And my experience going out there and doing this is just an incredible journey. If anybody's interested in pursuing that type of a goal, please email me. I'm excited to go through this experience again and to do something positive to be able to give back, because that to me is what life is all about.
Now, as Kevin said, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact him at kevin@thearc-metrowest.com.
Children of all ages are formally invited to join State Representative Steve LeDuc and his family on Sunday, September 2nd from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. for his annual Teddy Bear Picnic. The event will be held at the Row Gazebo at 57 Main Street and will feature Binky the Clown, who will entertain everyone with his balloon twisting skills, singing, and dancing. The event will also include a moonwalk, face painting, and games. The representative is looking forward to meeting all the families who attend. Light refreshments will be served, and if you have any further questions, feel free to call Steve at 508-481-2141.
Are you looking for some art to buy or an artist that is looking for a place to showcase their work? Well, the Post Road Art Center seems like just a place to do just that.
Do custom framing, and we have the art gallery with local artist work and artwork that I pick up in different areas of the country. And we do gifts. At the holiday times, we have all kinds of jewelry and handmade things for you to buy. and we have art supplies for you to create your own art. Thursday, we had an opening reception for a group show of local artists' work. We had 18 artists in the show, and we had a wine and cheese. It was a lot of fun, and it's a great opportunity for local artists to have people see their work. A lot of our clients are artists. They buy art supplies from us, they do picture framing from us, and so these shows give us an opportunity to help people see their work. So many of them submit their work into our shows. If you're an artist and you want to show your work, then you can get on our email list and we'll let you know when the next group show is, and you can submit it, and we have different judges who look over the work and pick the best of what we get to put in the show. Okay. I'm sure when you drive by you see the Mona Lisa on the front door. It's been there for years, and artist Bruce Collins, who painted that, is coming back in September for a one-man show of his work, all new, and on the 4th of September he's going to give Mona a freshen up. He's going to touch her up, give her a fresh coat of paint, and maybe make a few changes. I'm not really sure yet. It'll be a surprise. So if you want to check out these great paintings that we have on display, they'll be up until August 31st.
As Randy said, this past Thursday, the center held an opening reception for a juried landscape show. Landscape artists from all around Boston and Metro West submitted their art in hopes of selling their pieces. Now, if you'd like some more information or to see all the pieces, you can go to the actual gallery, and the hours are 9:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Pieces will be on display until August 31st, and for any other information, you can visit their website at postroadartcenter.com.
Would you like to take off for a 2-day trip to the Cape? Well, the Council on Aging would like to take you there. This trip includes lunch at Bailey's Surf and Turf, a cruise on the Jolly Roger pirate ship, a visit to Pierpont Crystal, a short browse through Hyannis, a visit to the JFK Memorial, and a trip to the Cape Cod Potato Chip Factory. It's just a fabulous trip to the #1 vacation spot in all of the Northeast, and it's all happening August 26th and 27th and costs about $259. If you're interested in going, you can contact Paula Lynch, and her number is 485-3741.
Sounds like a great trip.
It's going to be a good weather too, I hope.
Yep, and the Cape is great, so.
That's right.
We have to now go to Gina. She's the Buddy Dog Animal Shelter in Sudbury, and she has our animal up for adoption this week. Hey, Gina.
Thanks, Kristen. Today we're here with King, and King is aptly named, as you can see. He's a very large, purebred German Shepherd. He weighs about 90 pounds, and actually when he fills out, he'll probably be close to 100 pounds. He was turned in by a private owner who kept him outside all of the time. So King doesn't have any house manners yet. He will need to be housebroken, but he's a very gentle, well-mannered dog. He walks well on a leash. He seems to get along with other dogs. I don't think he'd be great with cats, so probably no cats. There were kids in the house, but like I said, he wasn't in the house, so he didn't really interact with them too much. We just neutered him here at Buddy Dog, and I'm sure once his coat grows in, because they shaved him, he's going to be a really gorgeous guy. If you're interested in King, you can call us at the shelter. The number is 978-443-6990.
Thank you, Gina. We just want to remind you that the Climate Action Network is aiming to let you know how you can go green with simple, practical solutions. The group is now making it easier than ever with the drop of their brand new website.
greenmarlborough.org website is a good place to give you a quick reference point for things that you can do yourself in your home to save energy.
The purpose of the Marlborough website is to help people find information that can help them green up their homes and their businesses. There is general information, but there's also very specific information just for Marlborough.
We are having an upcoming initiative on reusable shopping bags, and we're going to be giving away the reusable canvas shopping bags, which we hope, our goal is to ultimately replace the plastic bags that you get at the grocery store that are very detrimental to the environment. They're sturdier, you can carry more in them, and they have handles, so they're a really good thing, a good way that you can save energy.
The website is www.greenmarlborough.org, and it's the public is invited to look at the website and provide us any information or feedback on the website. It's in draft form right now, so we're looking for feedback from the public.
If you'd like any more information about this group, or if you'd like to comment to the website, you can call Jennifer Brudry at 508-481-0569. Now, I've checked out that website. It is A-OK.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, good.
So check it out.
All right, before we go, we want to see what else is happening around town next week. So here's a look at your community calendar. And that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran.
And I'm Kristen Doucette. Have a great week.
Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, smoked out, a fire forces dozens of residents out of their home. What investigators say sparked it all. Still no suspects in the Commerce Bank robbery. Find out who's stepping in to help crack the case. Plus, hundreds of hypnotists flocking to Marlborough. A mesmerizing look at the hypnosis event of the year. More problems for Boston's Big Dig. Why you may not want to leave the top down the next time you take to the tunnels. And owning a piece of Red Sox history. Who's auctioning off this red-hot sports car and how much it's going to cost you. It's all right now on Marlborough This Week. Dozens of residents forced out of their condominium building after a midday fire. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran. Firefighters are saying it was a faulty electrical wiring that sparked the fire. It started around 12:45 on Wednesday at the Executive House condominium complex on Route 20. A resident noticed smoke billowing into her apartment and called for help. She told the dispatcher that there was smoke in the hallway and all the lights in the hallway were out. Fire officials say that's a big indicator of an electrical malfunction. Damage was mostly visible on the inside of the building's third-floor hallway. Charred ceiling panels and water damage were the most serious. Luckily, no one was hurt. Officials say residents were forced out of their building for about an hour. Crews started working that afternoon to fix the faulty wiring and to get that mess cleaned up. New this week on the Crime Watch, 2 Metro West teens busted. Police say they broke into nearly 40 unlocked cars in Ashland, taking spare change, electronics, just about anything of value. Arrested were 18-year-old Kevin Scott and 18-year-old Jarrett Mogul. Both teens live on the same street in Ashland. Authorities say they targeted vehicles on the town's north side. The scheme is called car hopping. And though break-ins like these haven't occurred in Marlborough, police here say they certainly could. They say make sure you always lock your windows and your doors. Both Scott and Mogul are facing breaking and entering charges, and police say additional charges are possible. Meantime, investigators are still looking into whether the teen suspects were working with anyone else at the time of the thefts. A Marlborough man arrested this week for allegedly hiding video cameras in the house of a longtime friend and spying on her for several years. Police say 43-year-old Mark Ryan was arrested Wednesday, less than 2 weeks after the alleged victim found one of those cameras at her Bigelow Street home. Police found more than 120 tapes and CDs in Ryan's Fay Court apartment, 10 of them with clips of the Bigelow Street woman, and also tapes of 14 others getting undressed and showering, as well as some of the material dating back 10 years ago. Court records show Ryan posted bail yesterday. He's due back in court on August 27th. Since the investigation into last month's robbery at Commerce Bank in Marlborough has yet to yield any suspects, local officials are hoping a hand from the State Police Crime Lab can help crack the case. Forensic evidence from the July 17th holdup is now being analyzed, and police say it could be linked to a rash of robberies around the state. Banks in Westford, Newton, and Stoughton, all targeted by a man fitting the same description. Officials say forensic evidence may help identify a suspect, but they won't say what the evidence is. The male suspect was described as white, about 6 feet tall, 180 to 190 pounds, wearing a green Red Sox cap and faded blue jeans. If you have any information, please contact the Marlborough Police. City officials are taking steps this week to remedy a longtime eyesore on Broad Street. This home at 177 Broad Street has been vacant for years. Now city councilors have gone forward with the plan to board up the windows of the abandoned structure. Neighbors say the fix has been a long time coming. Broad Street property first appeared on the city council's agenda in 2006. It was requested that the building inspector investigate the condition of the home to see if it should be deemed a public safety hazard. A prominent piece of real estate in downtown Marlborough is getting a facelift this week. You may have noticed the scaffolding outside the Middleton building on Main Street. Tenants say the building is undergoing much-needed renovations on the roof. The building was built back in 1882. This week, crews are replacing wooden soffits that have deteriorated in recent years. No word on when the project will be completed or when that scaffolding will come down. Also, Marlborough's new senior center is coming along. This week, steelworkers continued piecing together the front of the Pleasant Street facility. The current senior center is located on Main Street. Well, we here in the Bay State certainly like to press our luck. New numbers out this week show just how much the Massachusetts lottery brings in each year per resident. On average, it's about $700 in lottery products annually. That's according to the Massachusetts Department of Revenue. Marlborough is just below that level. Citizens here spend about $619 per year, hoping to strike it rich. So who shells out the most cash on the lottery? That would be Salisbury, with average sales of more than $3,400 a year per resident. Officials say, however, that number is misleading because Salisbury sits on the New Hampshire border and many Granite Staters cross over the Bay State line to get their lottery fix. Well, the clock is ticking for Governor Deval Patrick to announce his plan for casinos in the Bay State. The governor is approaching his self-imposed Labor Day deadline to unveil his policy on casino gambling. Patrick has reportedly spent months going over the pros and cons of allowing one or more casino resorts in Massachusetts. The governor's approval would be necessary for casino gambling to come to the state. An announcement is expected from Patrick after his Western Massachusetts vacation comes to an end this week. New this week, officials in Boston say there are more than 500 leaks inside Big Dig tunnels, and all of them will have to be fixed. Project manager Michael Lewis tells the Mass Turnpike Authority that even more leaks are expected to be found. Even with these problems, Lewis says the leak repair program has been effective. Repairs of the 500 leaks in roof wall joints and utility conduits will continue through the spring. While losing weight, quitting smoking, improving speech, these are things that many people are looking to improve upon. There is help, and some say it's through hypnosis. This weekend, many of the world's most highly regarded hypnotists flocked to Marlborough, all spreading the word that hypnosis really works.
More than 1,500 people were expected in Marlborough this weekend for the 2007 annual convention for the National Guild of Hypnotists. Those here for the gathering say they work with ordinary, everyday people to help solve their problems, whatever they may be. Top hypnotists say the profession is gaining ground.
People like this because it does empower them, and the mind-body relationship has become very predominant in the news, especially in the health fields in the last few years.
Dr. Dwight Damon was one of the founding members of the Guild 56 years ago. He's working to establish hypnosis as a separate and distinct profession, though he admits it works best in conjunction with existing health techniques.
And we're not an alternative therapy. We're not trying to replace any other health specialist. We are complementary. So in other words, we can work with other people.
Convention attendees come from across the U.S. and from a number of countries. Hypnotist Pat McIsaac has taken her skills around the world to Botswana, Africa, to help those living with HIV and AIDS. She says the patient's response to hypnosis was almost immediate.
Just to see a lot of their faces relax, they look so more peaceful, you know, knowing that they can take control over their lives as much as they can. And it was a very rewarding experience. It was to help someone tap into their own power, teaching them how to really live life to the fullest as they are.
One very high-profile use of hypnosis came in the days just before 9/11. Hypnotist Larry Garrett was flown to Baghdad to help Uday Hussein, the brother of Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein. Hussein couldn't put pressure on his left leg, even 3 years after surgery, because of a fear that he wouldn't be able to walk. But hypnosis changed that.
So I hypnotized him. About 3 days later, he was walking better, and now he was going upstairs with both legs, where before he would go up with one leg and lift the other leg.
Garrett worked with Hussein for 10 days, hypnotizing him several times. That was just one of the many success stories told at this weekend's convention. This is regarded as the hypnotism event of the year, and many say Marlborough is the perfect place for it.
And people love to be here, and they look forward to it all year. It's a highlight of my year.
This is the third year the convention has been held at the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel and Trade Center in Marlborough. The group's president says he'd like to continue bringing the annual convention back to our city for at least the next 15 years. Certainly an interesting group of people there. Well, up next, job seekers beware. Hackers breach a popular job recruitment website. How many Monster.com clients could be at risk? Then, sprucing up one of Marlborough's most beautiful spots, how toxic pollution got into the Grove in the first place and how you can help clean it up. But first, here's a look at a great 5-day forecast.
Hello, I'm Paul Miner, Executive Director of Massachusetts 211. 211 is a non-emergency information hotline that provides callers with the information they need to solve many of life's everyday and sometimes critical problems. Whether it's finding government benefits or services, nonprofit organizations, support groups, crisis response, and official information, Mass 211 can help. This free and confidential service is provided to you by your local United Way. So remember, when you need non-emergency help, call 211.
Main gear touchdown.
Hitting the tarmac right on schedule and without any problems, the Space Shuttle Endeavour touched down Tuesday at Kennedy Space Center in Florida after successfully carrying the first teacher-turned-astronaut into space. The damaged tile that caused so much concern is now being examined on the ground, and the astronaut said it looked a lot smaller than they had anticipated. Well, Walmart is warning consumers this week about dog treats imported from China. The super chain has stopped selling 2 brands of dog treats that customers say made their pets sick. Walmart says the products aren't being recalled, but they are being tested. The affected food includes 2 types of chicken jerky. It was back in March when Walmart pulled thousands of cans of pet food with ingredients from China from their shelves after several animals became ill and passed away. A security alert this week for anyone using job-finding website Monster.com. Hackers got into the online job recruiter's computer system and stole more than 1 million records. Those records include personal information about hundreds of thousands of job seekers. The hackers allegedly posed as employers, then emailed the victims and talked them into installing software onto their computers, which was used to access the records. Monster.com has not received any reports of identity theft just yet. News around the nation now to Utah in what may represent the last rescue effort for 6 miners trapped underground for more than 2 weeks. On Thursday, crews drilled a 5th hole into the Crandall Canyon mine. The mine's co-owner says searchers are planning to lower a microphone and camera down and also take air readings. The previous 4 efforts have shown no signs of life. If this 5th hole yields the same result, officials may call off that search. Closure in Minnesota. The search for victims of the Minneapolis bridge collapse is now over. Drivers discovered the body of a 45-year-old construction worker this week, the 13th and final victim pulled from the Mississippi River. Now authorities are focusing efforts on removing the tons of debris still under the water there. Minnesota's Highway Department has set a goal of having a new interstate bridge ready by the end of 2008. It's being called the worst flooding in the U.S. in a century. Now the death toll from the 2 fierce storms and flooding in the Midwest is rising. At least 6 people have died in Oklahoma and 8 in Texas. That's where the remnants of Tropical Storm Erin had hit. Damage estimates have already hit the $30 million mark and were expected to keep on climbing. Strong Hurricane Dean swept into Mexico's mainland this week. The storm made landfall as a Category 2 hurricane with sustained winds of 100 miles per hour. Some 10,000 people were evacuated from coastal communities, and more than 100 oil platforms have also been shut down. So far, there have been no reports of deaths in Mexico, but Dean killed 13 people as it ripped across the Caribbean. Switching gears now to Metro West business news, a local man is taking his successful business ideas around the world to the Russian parliament. Joe Barboza, the president and CEO of Marlborough-based Cypherment Incorporated, addressed the Senate Committee on Telecommunications in Moscow, Russia. Barboza was invited to discuss standards and guidelines for global payments using mobile devices. Cypherment is headquartered in Marlborough. The company's software provides highly secure transactions on the internet and on handheld devices. Well, Marlborough went green over the weekend. Dozens flocked to a cleanup at the Grove on Saturday morning to help make a beautiful spot in Marlborough look even better.
It's called the Grove. The area located on the Fort Meadow Reservoir has been designated conservation land. But Marlborough environmentalists say that hasn't protected the spot from pollution. One of the biggest problems is runoff. Every time it rains, gallons and gallons of polluted runoff flow into the nearest body of water, like the Grove. Motor oil, yard clippings, fertilizers, and other toxins. If it's nearby, inevitably, it'll end up in the water.
We're analyzing it, and where we find problems, we're working to figure out how to fix them, just to make sure that our streams are, in fact, as clean as they can be.
Saturday's effort was sponsored by the Marlborough Litter League and the city's Community Development Corporation. Volunteers took to the woods and even hopped in the water, removing as much debris as they could find. From soda bottles to metal and even backpacks, trash was just about everywhere. Conservationists say too many people get rid of trash the wrong way, and that's coming at a cost to everyone.
We want to encourage the recycling, especially at the residents' homes, because that's, if you don't recycle, you're wasting my tax dollar and your tax dollar.
One way to help cut back on pollution in our waterways is to take a closer look at the toxins coming from yards, driveways, and gutters flowing into the storm drains outside your home. Environmentalists say that's a direct route to the nearest water source. This cleanup helps, but really making a difference means thinking about conservation all the time.
But you can't possibly get the whole city in one day, and to take and target areas like the Grove, which is a beautiful place for residents to come and enjoy. I really thank you so much for being out here, and thank you to everyone for giving up this beautiful Saturday to be out here to help us.
Those who visit the Grove say this project is a welcome sight.
Just come down here and throw the ball in the water, and there's a lot of people down here that usually enjoy bringing their animals down here, and it's a great place, and it's really nice to see it nice and cleaned up.
I grew up in Marlborough. I didn't even know about these places, and I've rediscovered the beauty of Marlborough, and we really have a lot to be thankful for and grateful for here in Marlborough.
Well, this was a great effort put on by the city's Litter League, which is a part of the Marlborough Community Development Corporation. The MCDC has several more events coming up that you can be a part of. You can give them a call to find out more. The number there is 508-408-4118. And they certainly had some great weather for that cleanup this week. Well, still ahead, Red Sox DH David Ortiz looking for your bid on eBay. How much it's going to cost you to own his ride. Then from competing on the ice to battling leukemia, how you can help support a local figure skating instructor in the fight of her life. Well, it's a baby boy for Patriots quarterback Tom Brady and actress Bridget Moynihan. The baby boy was born Wednesday at a Los Angeles hospital. Brady actually missed practice that morning to be there for the birth of his first child. Brady and Moynihan separated last year after a 3-year relationship. No word yet on the name for that new Brady baby. This could be your chance to own a piece of Red Sox history. Slugger David Ortiz has put his Mercedes-Benz convertible up for sale on eBay. The 2005 red Benz was Big Papi's gift to himself after the Sox won the 2004 World Series. With just over 4,000 miles on it, the car looks to be in showroom condition. Ortiz even plans on delivering the car to the highest bidder himself, right at Fenway Park. The current bid stands at just over $465,000, and that is a lot of money. But now let's head over to the Buddy Dog Animal Shelter in Sudbury. That's where Gina has this week's animal up for adoption. Hey, Gina.
Thanks, Dan. Today we're here with Percy, and Percy is part of a brother-sister team, and so they are looking for a home together. They're about 4 months old, very, very playful and active. They're going to be spayed and neutered next week, and that's when they'll be put up for adoption. So if you don't mind a lot of rambunctious kittens running around your house, you can call us at the shelter at 978-443-6990 and ask about Percy and Peggy. Ooh, Percy.
Music filled the air once again this week at Union Common. Headlining Thursday's installment of the summer concert series were the Accidentals. The show was bittersweet for the band as it marked the end of their 3-year run together. During their career, the Accidentals recorded 2 albums made up of mostly original material. Several of their songs even got regular airplay on radio stations in Boston, Worcester, and a few other places too. So good luck to those musicians. Finally this week, the community is rallying around a local figure skating instructor who's in the fight of her life. Evita Ice was diagnosed with leukemia in March. Her family still lives in Latvia. On September 7th at 7 p.m., the New England Amateur Skating Foundation will host an evening for Evita. Proceeds will help bring her mother from Latvia to Massachusetts, as well as help with medical expenses, including funds for a bone marrow transplant. The show, being held at the New England Sports Center in Marlborough, will feature top skaters, including U.S. and world champions, as well as Evita's very own students. Evita's close friends are hoping for a big turnout.
All these people have taken to heart the cause that one of our own, another skater, is very sick. We were hoping that Evita could be here, but she is going in the hospital today for another series of chemo. We're hoping that all of this money will help to keep her going.
The Dana-Farber Cancer Institute is holding a bone marrow registry drive from 3 to 6 p.m. before the September 7th show. You can get your tickets for this great event by calling 508-229-2700 extension 212 or by logging onto the event's website, eveningforevita.com. And we certainly wish Evita the very best. And that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.